Hi everyone, Sandra here from the Schwalben's Nest. Today I'm going to show you episode 2 of my Trash to Treasure video series. I'm going to be creating the two signs in the center of that picture. I started off by heading to the thrift store and I found these two wood wall plaques for $3 each, so for a total of $6. They are MDF wood, but they have really nice hangers on the back, as you can see, and they've got some really nice bones and some structure to them with the way that they're framed in, and they have a raised insert. So I'm going to be starting to create my signs with these. So the first thing I'm going to do is remove the stickers, and then I'm going to give it a good coat of chalk paint. I'm going to use Rust-Oleum Linen White, which is my go-to when I'm doing any kind of farmhouse related painting. So I'm going to give these two coats just on the top and just the sides a little bit. So for these two frames or plaques, I guess you could call them, that I picked up at the thrift store, they're now painted completely white with my chalk paint, and I'm going to use this inside raised portion to do a bit of a farmhouse style look. I'm going to put a pig on one and probably a chicken on the other one, and I'm going to find something to write probably around up in here and across the bottom, something like meat market, established, that kind of thing. So I'm just going to go on the internet and take a look at what I can find out there for inspiration. So on my iPad I found a free silhouette, a vector printout that I could use, and I always make sure that I don't use something that is actually that you're supposed to pay for, especially if I'm reusing it for something that I'm selling or in my house. It doesn't matter, but I always just try to make sure that it's free. Labeled for reuse is one of the things that you can look for. And what I'm going to do is just take some vellum paper that I have, place that over, and then very gently, so I don't touch the iPad and make the picture move, I'm just going to kind of hold it down and just trace over the little pig silhouette. There, so that's complete. And now what I can do is a couple of different things. I can take this photo or this outline, make it a little darker with my pencil, and then I can go ahead and transfer that to my plaque very easily. So I'm just going to outline this a little bit darker with my pencil. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my board and I'm going to just flip the paper over and place the pig as close to the center as I can. Make sure that I've got it. Here are the edges of the raised insert. Make sure that it's fairly centered. And then I'm just going to take my pencil and go around again, and that should, if I use some good pressure, should transfer the image to the chalk paint. Just going to check it. Yep, it's working. So you're just going to need to use a lot of pressure for this, just to make sure you get a nice outline. So when I take that away, you can see that I have a very light outline of my pig, but that's just enough for me to be able to use my charcoal chalk paint and paint him in, and then I'll be roughing him up and making him a little rustic looking. So to color in my little pig, I am using my favorite brand Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the color of charcoal, and I'm going to use my trusty little fine point brush just to give it the outline, and then I might switch to a larger brush just to fill it in. Because of the texture of the chalk paint, sometimes the outline ends up being a little, it's not quite so filled in, but I'm okay with that because I want it to be rustic looking. I've decided that I'm going to do country feed mill, the word country up here, and I'm going to do country feed mill. While I've been out and about doing shopping at Dollar Tree or Dollarama or even Walmart, I'm always on the lookout for some stencils that are a little bit different. I found these stencils, they're kind of a country style font, and I'm going to use that for the word country on the top of the pig. What I'm doing with the painter's tape is just marking the center of the board so I know where to start with the middle letter. When I do my stenciling, I like to start tracing the middle letter first and then moving down one side and then back the other side. So I always start in the middle and then work out from there. Just makes it easier to make things even. After I was done doing this part of the stenciling, I realized that I forgot the letter N in country, so I had to actually redo this, and I just erased the lettering in pencil and redid it. If you've been watching some of my videos when I'm doing signs, I never like to use the same font for all of the words on a sign. So what I've decided here is just to use a basic Farmhouse print for the bottom words that says feed mill. I'm going to use the Craft Smart oil-based paint pen to do the letters. I just find that this is much easier. It also makes it much more durable and gives it a bit of a shine, which is kind of nice, rather than using the chalk paint. Here's the words completed, and I was just doing a little bit of touch-up and making them all the same thickness. Now that I've got all the letters complete, I'm going to do some distressing of the white, and I'm just taking my paintbrush, totally dry paintbrush, and dipping it into the charcoal chalk paint and then very lightly brushing it across, sort of going in the direction of how the wood grain would be. I like the way the linen white chalk paint brush strokes gives it the effect of distressing, and it just really helps with the texture of when you're doing this type of look. I also went over the pig with a dry brush in the white chalk paint, and I'm also going to go over the letters with some white chalk paint just so they're not so fresh and clean. This is where I'm using my white Rust-Oleum chalk paint and just doing again my dry brushing technique just to go over the words country so they're not quite so bright. So here's a look at both of the signs completed. I did decide to do a chicken on the second one, and I chose the words market fresh eggs, and I think they go really well together. They could be hung as a pair, or they could be hung separately, side by side, or up and down. I think they turned out really great. I love the way the distressing looks. Here's a close-up of one of the signs, and this is the texture I was telling you about. When you use chalk paint and you use a regular brush, sometimes you get some brush strokes. I like that because then when I'm doing my distressing, it actually makes it look more like real wood. I hope you enjoyed my video. This is episode 2 of my Trash to Treasure. Episode 3 will be coming soon. If you did like the video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and click the bell to get notified when I upload new videos. Thanks for watching, and thanks for your support.